Guys, I hope everyone is doing good. This is Pratishtha, your IELTS tutor, and in this lesson, we are going to be specifically talking about some writing strategies. Writing is one of the toughest part, I would say, because it's something that you have to do on the spot. But with correct writing techniques, something that we have also discussed in the past, I believe that you will be able to write efficiently. You should be able to know a couple of things, a couple of, I would say, tips that are necessary for your writing. And besides that, you should be good to go for it. So, without any further ado, let's see what are the agendas for today and today's lesson and how we need to practice writing here. So, we have already seen how to structure our, what do we call it? Our passages, our paragraphs. But what we have not seen is how to structure your argument. So, what is logical writing? How to structure it? Um, how to write coherently? Um, all of this would be covered in this lesson, right? So, in this session, we will learn how to structure arguments in writing. So, we will put our arguments forward, right? Arguments is not that kind of argument. Argument is basically putting your point forward. So, it's mostly point of view, right? Point of view basically means what do you think about something. So does not matter if it is a letter or an essay or any kind of writing. Putting your point of view is exceptionally important, and that's something that we'll learn. Why you need to structure arguments. So why is it important to first of all argue, right? In your essay, arguing basically means putting your point forward. And what do you think happens? So, a well structured arguments help present ideas clearly and persuasively, right? So, it puts your ideas forward in a clear manner. People know what you're trying to say, and persuasively. To persuade means to convince someone, right? To convince someone to do something, to persuade someone to do something, to follow something. Organizing your arguments logically makes it easier for readers to follow your reasoning. If your writing is organized, if it is in a logical manner, it makes it easier for people to follow what you are trying to say. Follow means basically to understand. If it is haywired means if it is all puzzled up, you don't know what you're trying to say, then people are going to get confused about it. A clear structure ensures that your writing has a coherent flow from introduction to conclusion. So, a clear structure would mean that right from the beginning towards the end, your writing has one single flow, right? If it's talking about something, it's continuously talking about it and it is trying to prove a point, right? So, that is pretty much it. That is why arguments are important, especially structuring them. The basic structure of an argument is pretty similar to what we have done before. It is exactly like a basic structure of the paragraph. So, first would be an introduction. You need to present the main idea or argument and provide background information. So, no matter what you're trying to do, always an introduction is important. A reader should know, for example, someone who reads your essay or writing should know why he or she has written this particular point. That is the most important thing. Then you have body paragraphs. Each paragraph should focus on a single point that supports the main argument. So each body paragraph, they should focus on a single point. If the whole passage is about social media, it should focus on that, right? And it should support the main argument as well, right? It should be supportive of that fact. Evidence, use example, facts, and data to support each other. So you can use examples by saying, for example, for instance, as a matter of fact, sorry for my handwriting, but I hope you're able to understand what I'm trying to say. It is basically giving you examples. You can say facts or data. So, facts and data, for example, you can say that it's a fact that, right? You can start with from here. It is a fact that. So, you can say it is. Um, Fact that you can also say that, what can you say? You can say that according to a study, it has been found out that. Now, these are not real life cases, right? I'm just creating it just so that my argument looks authentic. And you can do that because I'm not stating a particular kind of study, right? The reader would know that he or she is not trying to write a real study, but it's just that if they had to write something similar, they know how to make a point, right? And facts are great for that. Then you can take data and statistics. You can say 50% of the population do that, etc. Then you can say 1 out of every 5 men dash 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 whatever just to prove your point, right? 1 out of every 5 people, 1 out of every 5 children, 1 out of every 5 women, anything. Now you can also say like 2 out of every 6 people or something. I mean, just random numbers, right? So it does not matter what your number is. This is just a way of showing that you can use facts and data to support your point. And then you have summarizing. So summarize the main points and restate the argument. So you need to summarize it and then just restate your point. So first activity is read the following short essay, identify the introduction, body paragraph, and conclusion. How is the argument structured? So the rise of remote work has changed the way companies operate. While some argue that remote work decreases productivity, others believe that it offers flexibility and improves work-life balance. Research shows that remote employees often have higher job satisfaction and better mental health. So now we need to find the structure for it. The structure for it, the rise of remote work has changed the way companies operate. It is the beginning. It serves as an introduction. It presents the topic to us and establishes the focus of the essay, right? So here, after reading this, I am aware that it is going to talk about remote work. So that is your introduction, body. The middle part, while some argue that remote work decreases productivity, others believe that it offers flexibility and improves work-life balance. It's the body, right? And it introduces two opposing points and it gives structure to the argument. So that body is usually the middle part where you are explaining what exactly are you going to talk about, or maybe putting your point forward. So here the writer has put 2 points forward, that it has positives also, it has negatives also. Then the conclusion is the final sentence. Research show that remote employees often have higher job satisfaction and better mental health, right? So finally, it is said, it is like the positive side wins, that remote employees, they have higher job satisfaction and they have better mental health than employees who go to the office and work. So it provides evidence supporting one side of the argument and wraps up the point of view favoring remote work. Again, so it has provided, if you want it to be more authentic, you can just say, according to the studies done by Harvard School, it has been suggested that people who work remotely have better mental health. That is also a statistic. 1 out of every 10 person um, who works from office suffers from mental depression, something like that. Suffers from depression, suffers from stress, suffers from body pains, things like that. I mean, you will have to create it in your own mind. Then you have structuring argument. You have activity 2, write a paragraph arguing for and against the following statement. Social media has a positive impact on body. So now you have to argue against or for the following statement. Either you can be on the side of social media, that it has a positive impact, or you can say that no, social media does not have a positive impact. So start with an introduction that presents your main argument. So you will introduce, you will use evidence or example to support your argument, and end with a conclusion that summarizes your point of view. So always you have to choose a side first. You cannot go ahead with both the sides. In the previous activity too, you learned how you don't have to agree, like you don't have to be okay with both the sides. You have to choose one. So choosing one point of view is extremely important. You have to choose your point. So for example, social media has undoubtedly had a positive impact on society by revolutionizing communication and fostering global connections. This can be sort of like my introduction, right? Then I'm giving examples here, such as shows examples. Platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter have enabled individuals to stay connected with friends and family, regardless of geographical boundaries. So, even if people are far away, it's fine. Social media has helped them stay connected. Additionally, so it's like a plus point. I mean, one more point is added. Social media has given a voice to marginalized communities, allowing them to raise awareness about social issues and advocate for change. The social media has given a voice. Now, this is a different point. It is point number two. This was point number one, that it has enabled individuals to stay connected. Point number two is given a voice to marginalized communities, allowing them to raise awareness about social issues and advocate for change. Now, here also, they have given an instance, because if you don't provide examples, if you don't provide any kind of um, data or statistics supporting your claim is not as strong, right? So for everything that you say, there should be an example, there should be a data, there should be some kind of statistics that support this. So for instance, movements like Me Too and Black Lives Matter have gained momentum through social media, empowering millions to participate in important discussions. While there are concerns about misinformation and privacy, the benefits of increased awareness and connection cannot be ignored. So, yes, it says that there are some negatives also, but the positives overpower them. And this is your conclusion. So it's pretty evident where they are starting the conclusion. In conclusion, social media has positively transformed the way we communicate and interact, fostering societal progress. So it has really changed how we communicate with each other, and it has fostered societal progress in the end. Now, introduction. If we want to write it, if you want to write on the topic that remote work has a positive impact on society, here are some tips, right? So you begin with a brief explanation of how remote work has gained popularity and transformed workplace dynamics globally, right? So you will talk about how remote work has become popular. Why has it become popular? Why has it transformed workplace? What has happened? You will give your arguments, discuss the benefits of remote works, such as increased flexibility, right? So you will talk about the flexibility. It gives better work-life balance. You can give some examples. Again, when you are putting first, second, third points, you have to give some examples or stats. Use evidence from studies showing the rise in mental health benefits and productivity among remote workers. So again, you need to show some evidence, you need to show some data, some analysis, something like that. And then conclusion. Summarize how remote work not only benefits employees, but also contributes to a more adaptable and resilient society. So in the end, you would say that because of all these three benefits, it does not only benefits employees, but also contributes to a more adaptable, resilient society. The society becomes more adaptable to those changes, right? And the society becomes more resilient to that, right? Resilient means when you overcome a problem consistently. Similarly, we already saw this topic. Social media plays a crucial role in supporting remote work, right? This is like a mixture of both that topics, right? We were talking about the positive impacts of social media. Now, in this one, we are talking specifically about how social media plays a crucial role. So, introduction. Introduce a growing resilience on social media platforms for communication, collaboration, and support in remote work environments. So you need to introduce the growing resilience on social media platform for communication, collaboration, and support. Social media is opening up more. It is connecting more and more people, even at workplaces. Argument that you will give is explain how social media tools. So now you can give examples like Slack, LinkedIn is a complete professional tool, and Twitter, because on Twitter it's not like that informal, it's more formal. Many businessmen, many important I would say politicians, everyone is on social media and communicate through it, right? So now social media has also taken up to be more professional, and it enables seamless interaction between remote teams, foster professional connections, and provide knowledge sharing platforms. Use examples of how social media has allowed remote employees to build communities and maintain social engagement. So it has allowed remote employees to build communities, right? So remote employees, all of them, they form a community so that they are, I would say, uh, professional as well as still connecting beyond work, and they are being social. So because they are not able to go ahead and meet people in person, they can do that online. Conclude by stating that social media enhances remote work, contributing to a better team dynamics and overall job satisfaction. So social media has really helped for people to connect, which causes a better team dynamic. So the team becomes closer and stronger, and there is an overall job satisfaction. That was pretty much all the activities. So a few tips for structuring arguments is start with a clear thesis. Your thesis should be pretty clear. Ensure your main argument is clear from the beginning. So make sure that the main argument, it's clear right from the beginning. Use logical progression. Again, it should be logical. It has a beginning, middle, and end. It cannot be that you go ahead and put the like the end in the beginning and middle is towards the end and the introduction is somewhere in the middle. It cannot happen like this, right? So it should be logical. Support your claims. Always, whatever point you're making, give some sort of evidence, give some sort of data, give some sort of statistics, and use transitions. So use a lot of transitional words, again, like firstly, additionally, moreover, not only, but also, things like that. You need to use conjunctions. And that is pretty much it. You will be able to structure your arguments effectively if you follow just these points. Common mistakes. First is lack of a clear thesis. So, first of all, when you read a topic, you need to make sure that you have a thesis in your mind prepared, right? Make sure that your main argument is clear, make sure it is well defined. Evidence should not be weak. I mean, by weak evidence, what I mean is that it should not be just anything, right? It should be supported, it should be a good argument, right? It should make sense. It should be, again, like I told you, it should like not just opinions, right? It should be a solid evidence. Disorganized structures. So make sure that your ideas are flowing logically and cohesively. So again, like I said, it should not be all jumbled up. It should flow in a logical pattern. And overgeneralization. So avoid making sweeping statements without sufficient evidence. Make sure that you're not just saying things. Make sure you have evidence to support it, right? So don't just keep on giving your opinion, because this kind of things are not, I mean, you don't have to do like make your own personal opinions on it. You don't really have to give your opinions. Even if you have your opinions, make sure it's supported with claims. Why do you have that kind of opinion? What made you think, right? So that you can also persuade others to have the same opinion. And that's pretty much it. We learned how to structure arguments in writing, right? What is a good argument? We discussed the key elements of a well-organized argument. So again, the key elements were all discussed. We practiced writing and structuring arguments. So we did practice how to write and how to structure your arguments. For homework, You can pick any topic, even the same topic. Try to give your arguments on it, try to give your evidences on it, and your own personal opinion. And you can just review your essay after that for and make sure that it's punctuated correctly. It has all the logical connectors. It has what do I say, conjunctions, and all of those things properly in one place. And that is pretty much it about what we learned today. Writing is something that is going to come with practice, and the more you practice, the better you become. Writing, I mean, I would also suggest you read a lot of stuff so that you have all the ideas in your head, and your writing will improve definitely. Do not add vocabulary that you don't know. Do not experiment, especially during your test. You can experiment it now, but not during your tests. But make sure you have a list of vocabulary that you are sure that you have to use in the test. And that's pretty much it for today. I hope you learned something out of this lesson, and I hope you are able to communicate your arguments well after this. So I'll see you in the next class.